each year, flocking to what can be called the cradle of Western civilization. Sites such as the Colosseum, the Pantheon, and the Roman Forum continue to intrigue everyone given its complicated history and how it plays into who we are today. While it might seem that history is long dead, the way that we continue interacting with it today, visiting it, learning about it, continues to add to the story of that history. Starting in the 7th century, the Roman Forum developed naturally as its uses and the needs for it expanded over time. Through the kingdom and through the republic and through the empire itself, this area was used often and is still a site that many visit. This site is also home to numerous other well-known structures, such as the Colosseum, the Arch of Constantine and Titus, as well as the final resting place of Julius Caesar when his stepson Augustus had him cremated. This is one of the aspects that shows how monuments and temples and spaces such as these bring together people from around the world. Can you just tell us a little bit about how you are here right now?
Yeah, so we are from the University of Tennessee, transferred to Arkansas to do Rome Center, which is at Piazza Taverna by Piazza Navona across the Tiber River, and we are doing studying architecture.
But what do you guys think since you've had a little time here? So I know you haven't had a lot of time here, but sort of how we are living with the history, how it seems that people
it's integrated with the rest of the city.
It is very nice.
They've kept it up.
The preservation is so alive. So even though the Colosseum is not necessarily utilized as a place for sports,
right.
It's still very much
not
still
not those same ones at least.
Still a very valid place to go, and that's a lot of how the income works because of these touristy places, and so it's very wow. Every time I walk to school, I pass the Vatican, and it's just casual.
Yeah.
So it's the fact that the first day I was oh, this is so amazing, and now it's these people see it every day.
Do you think that makes them appreciate it more or less?
I know for a fact that Italians are very proud of their culture, and so I would assume that they appreciate it more. I think that it's bypassed, on a casual, because like I said, it's pretty casual. I'm not taking photos anymore. But it definitely is a very appreciative thing. I went to the Epiphany Parade, which is All Saints Day, and I saw the Pope, and I was ah!
Wow.
And so I went into the Sistine Chapel and everything, and how going in, you have to be very finely dressed, and the culture, you talk quietly, and everything is takes a long time, and so it's just a very different thing from America, and it's very inspiring.
There's a history
honestly.
down every street and in the roots of most buildings. Those stories are not forgotten, but rather kept alive and growing as people today continue to add to it. Students and visitors document and record their travels in many different ways, but in the end, aren't we still keeping history alive? In Greece and Italy, you got to explore really historically rich cities. What was it like?
It was really fascinating to go through and see that we were walking on literally millions of years of history. We were at one of the temples, and we were digging up some of the pottery, and we got yelled at and almost caused an incident because we're literally walking on top of where these people built all these things, and most of it's been excavated, but you can just imagine digging through the layers of the dirt, what's there that we don't know about. And that was really cool to see and walk on it and really get immersed into the history. When you first walk up to these monuments and these temples and the remains that are left, it hits you. You're looking at what was 2,000 years of construction is still there. You're looking at works of individuals that we could not replicate. No technology, just somebody said, there's no way to describe when you walk up to something that the Acropolis, the Colosseum, the Forum, any of the temples, and just standing there looking up, and you're I'm where someone stood 20,000 years ago, basically, and built this. I'm walking where they walked. And you can't really describe that in a textbook.
Italy was by no means enough time to see all that there is to see in this city full of rich history. But the sites we dig to see along Capitoline Hill, such as Constantine's Arch, the Roman Forum, and the Colosseum, really re-emphasize that history is still tangible today because people still want to learn. The host of people from around the world trekking to these places to understand the foundations of the history that we have all come to understand as our own is really significant and also continues to add to the history of these sites. Far from being dead, far from being over, history is still alive and we're still helping create it to this day. How many visitors come see here or the Colosseum?
6 million a year.